Well, I'm coming at you today a little bit confused, but very encouraged and just understanding of why my husband and I work so well. So we wanted to do this video today on Enneagrams, taking the Enneagram test and then seeing what each other's Enneagram was and then kind of assessing that and seeing like how we work well together, because I think these tests are fascinating. A real catch in this is coming in a second, but just a little backstory on like what the Enneagram test even is and why we decided to take it. So last night we were having dinner with our friends Hunter and Cameron, and they were like, oh, she was like, I'm a 3-wing 2, and Cameron is a, whatever Cameron was, I can't remember, like
and
a 9-wing 4.
And I had no idea what this test is, what that even means.
And she was like, I read the book, and so I see why when he does this, I do this, and when I do this. So I was like, man, I've already taken mine, and it made me understand a lot about my personality and the way that I am. But I was like, Kyle, you've got to take yours, and let's do a video on it. So, also, the Enneagram basically is a test that tells you personality types. Like back when you were in high school or grade school, they used to do Myers-Briggs. They've called these personality tests different things through the years. But the Enneagram apparently is like amazing, and I see why it's a great tool. I think you should always assess yourself and your partner. Here is the catch. We are the same Enneagram and the exact same wing.
Much to my wife's
super
chagrin.
Rare.
Because when I did not know anything about this test, and Mal said, take this test, and it's about, how many questions? It's like, I don't know, it's about 50, 60 questions. It's only going to take you 15 minutes to take. We'll put the link in the description. And I showed Mal my results, and she was dumbfounded.
No, I was like, why are you showing me mine? I was like, I already know what mine are. I just sent you those. And he's like, these are mine. And I was like, no way. Because I had read how rare it is to be in a marriage with the same personality type. Now, some personality types in a marriage together, even like if it's a 3 and a 3, not the same wing, not necessarily 3s, but if it's a 9 and a 9 or a 4, apparently 4s in relationships together, it's a disaster. It's like a recipe for disaster. And I was just like, what?
Let me give you an example really quick of some of these questions that you'd be answering. And you can choose no, partly, or yes. So I tend to trust most people. I'm too strict with myself and others. I love to take care of people, and I'm good at it. Success, prestige, and recognition really matter to me. I plan the next adventure before the current one is finished. We were probably both a yes on that one. So just kind of questions like that, and you can answer yes, no, partly. And it's about, there's 14 pages in this, maybe about 8 questions per page. So again, it took me like 15 minutes, and I had no idea what my results were going to be. Should I tell them mine?
What?
What I am on this thing, or what we are?
I already said 3-wing 2.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I'm a 3-wing 2, which means greatness. That's why Mal was so shocked at my results.
Yeah, because I chose to marry a person I did not think was great. I was just really surprised because I feel like there are differences in Kyle and I, and we are spot on the same. Not only are we the same, but like even the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place, it's all the same.
Yeah.
So, so the 3 Enneagram type is the achiever. The 2 is the helper. So you have a main thing, then you have a wing. So the dominant one would be first, being 3, and then the wing 2 would be like your second. Your wing is like your trait. So there are versions of the achiever that are like, have crippling achievement. I feel like they'll do anything to achieve, walk all over whoever, do whatever they have to do to achieve, and it's a downfall to themselves, which probably, I'd say you could change, like your Enneagram type could change, because I think I used to be more of an achiever than I am like now. I definitely can see like how we're the wing 2. So that being the helper, it's like you're more of a motivator, like a charmer, a salesperson. It's like it has all of these different descriptions. But people who identify as an Enneagram type 3 with a 2 wing primarily identify as types 3, but share some characteristics of type 2. They tend to be ambitious, charming, and enthusiastic in their behavior. They are driven and love to achieve. They tend to adapt their attitude to their environment, which makes them very effective communicators.
Preach,
so they are afraid of failing or being unworthy of love. They avoid this by setting and accomplishing goals in order to feel successful and worthy. I could see that.
So, something else that I read, they can be self-critical of themselves and then others. Those are kind of the negative traits. And then what about the 3 wing 2 in a relationship?
Well, here, let me finish this part. So, enchanters, they're also called motivators, which I feel is an accurate
Enchanters?
thing. Enchanters or motivators.
I have always been into magic. So maybe that's just more.
What? That's not...
I'm enchanted.
They're dedicated to achieving their goals. They're naturally self-confident. They're naturally self-aware. They have easy ability to connect with others, care deeply for their community. They're efficient in the workplace. Blind spots of 3 wing 2s, and then we will go into the relationship part. Heavily focused on social image, struggling to accept failure from others. I do that sometimes. Being overly competitive or possessive, tendency to be unintentionally manipulative. If you read online or if you ask the specialist, the 3 wing 2 with the 3 wing 2, while it is extremely rare, there's a lot of literature out there on it. And do you know what they call them? The dream team. A power couple. A couple that truly can achieve anything, which that makes me excited that he's 3 wing 2. I was very freaked out thinking, oh no, well, it's over. I've married the wrong Enneagram type, so let's just throw in the towel. But because we're the same type and because we're the wing 2, we encourage each other in our relationship, cheer each other on. Within our business, we will do anything to achieve our goals and create the life that we want, the business that we want, the children that we want. Apparently, 3 wing 2s together will do literally anything that they have to do to achieve. Exactly what they want to achieve.
Well, they do it in kind of a blind spot is they do it so much so that they can lose focus of the relationship themselves. So usually one of the 3 wing 2s kind of senses that and can always kind of come back and be like, hey, how are we doing? Let's work on us. And
then another blind spot or downfall with the 3 wing 2s is if they're in the same role in a business, they can be really competitive with each other.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. If we're doing the same thing, we're both competitive as to who does it better. Because I remember when I got to editing.
You're my perfect lover.
I know. I remember when I started editing the videos, I was competitive. I'm doing such a better job of editing these videos than you did of editing your own videos. Oh, jeez. So things like that.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that out loud.
Yeah, no, I kept that to myself. So things like that. I don't know. It's cool to see, these tests for what they're worth.
But
it's cool to see.
But they say if you have different roles within your business, then you're fine.
Yeah.
Because then the good parts of the 3 wing 2s come out, and you encourage and uplift the other partner into doing a better job at their specific job because it's not the same as yours. Oprah is a 3 wing 2, and Tony Robbins, which those are my 2 faves. But then there are a lot of politicians that are 3 wing 2s. Which Kyle was a political science major in college, and I used to think he wanted to go into that. So, thank the Lord he didn't. But there's a book that I just ordered for us, and it's called The Road Back to You, I think. So it talks about relationships with you and whatever Enneagram type you're with. the 3-wing 2 can be drained by feeling like they always have to entertain people, which I feel like is a trait that I used to really have. Failing or disappointing loved ones. I think that's a good one too. And struggling to find balance in personal life and business.
Oh.
What, Kyle?
That piece may or may not fit. That's all I will say on camera. I feel like
you copied my test.
No, I did not copy your test. I feel like 2, your number can change later in life, because I remember when I was like a huge workaholic. No work-life balance. It was all work, like 24/7 too. So we had stuff going on at night, like it wouldn't stop. And now, I guess after going all through that, I realized it's you've got to have for me to be my best self, I have to have a balance. I've got to be able to turn it off. So I feel like
he helps me with that. But we also have like been through therapy and like different things to better ourselves where we struggled. So I do definitely feel like you can like alter them.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the helper part, the wing 2. It's like the helper. I try to take some of my experiences. Like I used to work all the time, so when I see Mal working all the time, instead of trying to handle her with like white gloves and telling her what she should do, it's just like, hey, you want to go take a walk, or let's watch a movie real quick, something like that. Because you can kind of, I've been there before, so I know how it is. So I feel like that's the wing 2 is kind of coming on. What are you grinning at me for?
I just still think it's so funny. I'm just like
she can't stand it that my score is of a person of excellence.
Why do you think
success.
It's like of excellence? Any Enneagram that you are, it's just who you are. There's not one. They say 3-wing 2 and 2. They say 3s and 2s are very pleasant to be around. Apparently.
Interesting.
Which most of the time I would say Kyle is pleasant to be around.
Most of the time? I'm a joy all the time.
Oh, he's
From
joy all the
sunrise
time.
to sunset.
Whenever I took the test, I did a lot of research on the 3-wing 2. I never in a million years would have expected that we would be the same. So I've just briefly dived into this. Now I'm going to read the whole book and maybe we'll have a follow-up video. But we just wanted to do this, and I want to know like what other people are. Now I've been like asking all of my friends, like, what Enneagram type are you? If you take the test, we'll link the test that we took. There are all different sites you can take the test on. Comment below what you are, and if you are married, comment who you are married to, what their type is.
Now don't go, if you're not married or you are married, don't go get a divorce or break up with your boyfriend or girlfriend if y'all's Enneagram numbers clash.
Notice Kyle also calls it an Enneagram.
What's it called?
Enneagram.
Whatever.
Look at my stomach. That was a fun thing to do today. We are a good couple.
A couple of 3-wing 2s.
Just living
trying
life.
to make it happen.
All right, so I hope you guys liked that video.
Old Bay's got to go to physical therapy.
I gotta go to dang physical therapy.
With a cute physical therapist named Kyle.
No, Kyle.